As a preliminary matter, this is Rob Benchley, and permit me to confirm all members or persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. When I call your name, please answer appropriately. Caroline Ellis.
Yes.
Thank you. Mary Lathrop Will.
Yes.
Angus McLeod.
Here.
Clement Durkee.
Here, but I have to leave at noon, Madam Sir Chairman.
Okay, and Rob Benchley is here. And he's scrambling a little bit to, oh, he's got to finish reading this. Okay. Good morning. The open meeting of the Sconset Advisory Board is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings. As such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of the public or bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with the agenda materials to this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting may feature public comment depending on who's here. For this meeting, the SAB is convening video conference via the Zoom app as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note this meeting is being recorded and all attendees are participating by video conference. Please also be aware that other folks may be able to see you and to take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. Now we're turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct for our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I'll introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude the remarks, we'll go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold your comment until your name is called. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. After members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment to those members of the public that have joined the meeting via Zoom. Members of the public who wish to speak must state their names and be acknowledged and speak through the chair. Each vote taken at this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. And with that, meeting is called to order. Members present. I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, Caroline Ellis.
Yes.
Mary Lathrop Will.
Yes.
Angus McLeod.
Aye.
Clement Durkee.
Yes.
Rob Benchley. Chair notes unanimously approved. I guess we're going to go straight to old business. Burlingham Trust, 15 Beach Street, new dwelling. And the chair notes that the application itself is kind of incomplete. The locus map is the wrong lot. The second page is blank. There are two plans of the first floor. We don't have a second floor plan. And the house, the proposed house is showing on the plan is 27 feet high for Codfish Park. So as submitted, I'd say either it's incomplete, and in addition, 27 feet is completely unacceptable for Codfish Park, just for starters.
Chair, this is Angus. There's also no site plan. So I'd make a motion to just hold while the application is complete.
I would second that. This is Mary.
I'm in agreement with that.
So, Joe Tom, can I speak?
Yes, please. Sorry, Tom.
No, it's all right, it's Joe.
Oh,
Well, I apologize. Some reason, the one I'm looking at now that was submitted has a site plan and has first and second floor. So I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on as far as what was submitted. So my apologies for that. Can I screen share or no?
I
You
don't
can, but I
Well,
mean, I'm whatever was given to admin is what I've got up.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I might have put in an earlier one and it didn't overwrite it, so I apologize. And
Okay.
why there's
Yeah.
not the site plan shown, that's really bizarre.
Yeah, look at that. No site plan. Yeah, if you could do that and email it to me as well, so I have it for tomorrow as well.
Yeah. So can we just talk about the exterior? Because I just want to give you how we came up with that, and if I could screen share, just to give you an idea of why. I mean, why I have the dimensions that I have, if that's okay with the board.
fine with me.
Okay. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So what draws inspiration for the Burlingham house is a house or a Dory barn that was in Codfish Park from 1890 to 1900. As you can see it way in the background there, and just above it. So that's the first one. And all these photographs were provided by Ralph Hinkey, who's the photo archive specialist for the NHA. This second photo is from 1911. It's the same barn. You can just see in the background, it was had 1x facade in that rear little massing.
Joe, we can't see that. We still see a small version of the Dory barn.
Okay, hold on.
Were these included in the app?
No, this is something I was able to create over the weekend.
Gotcha. Yeah, that would be helpful too.
Yeah.
Can I just ask one question? This is Clement. Is this a demolition and a new building?
So
That's
no,
what
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
So this was, there was a house designed by Chip Webster, and that has been, was going to be relocated to 9 Beach Street, the Brown residence. Now, what that was a, was going to be relocated to 9 Beach Street, but what that's done is now that has been changed to going to another site. So this is going to be all new. Can you see the Dory barn or no?
Nope, it's still, you might have to unshare and go back into it.
Yeah. All we see is the thumbnail.
Yep.
With like the folder?
Yeah.
No, just it's a thumbnail of the
Yeah, you
photograph.
gotta you have to unshare and then go back in.
All right, let's see if I can do this.
Mr. Chairman, I may be a little dim, but I need a complete and linear context here. There are 2 houses on that property currently, one of which was the Chip Webster house that they wanted to remove so that they could move it down the street. That we did not like the idea because it was going to totally obliterate the light and space of the house next door. So that's not happening. So now that house is going someplace else, but there's still another house in the property. What's happening to that? Is that
So long
renovated?
story short, the little structure that's there that was designed by Chip Webster is going to go as far north as possible in Codfish Park. The person that was going to take this small dwelling at 15 Beach Street has decided that they don't want it. They want to do just a single story I mean, that's what we have, but she just wants to do a box.
Yeah, I get that.
So that's what she's gonna do. So next HDC deadline, I will be filing to move 15 Beach Street Cottage to another lot within Codfish Park on an empty lot with nothing around it. So that's our intent.
Okay.
So can you see
Nope.
any?
Nope.
Good Lord.
And what about the existing house on that property? Not the Webster designed house, but the house that's been there for quite a
We're
while.
not, I'm not touching that. If anything, that's what's gonna be
Yeah.
happening.
Much better.
You got that?
There
Okay.
we go.
All right, sorry, my apologies. So the Burlingham new structure is based off this, Dory barn from 1890 to 1900, and that's what draws a lot of inspiration. So from there, this is it again in 1911, and what I was able to do is blow it up, and you can see there's a rear L that is done in 1x, so probably done with beach planks for the Dory barn. Here it is again, which allows to see the other elevation viewing from the beach, looking up at the bluff. And I'm going to get back to this photograph because what this allows you to see is the foundation, the floor framing, or the lack thereof. It's very narrow. Now this is Beach Street, so you can see 10 Beach Street, which we've all witnessed the long HCC meetings on that. Beyond that is 15 Beach Street, and that house was demolished. And in the current dwelling is there now. And now you can see the second Dory barn, which is on the end or 7 Beach Street. I'm assuming that's where that would be. So there was 2 Dory barns that we kind of drew inspiration from. Again, I'm just going to go back just to show you that photo. But what I did is I broke it down and I took some general terms. We know that the garage door would, barn door would be 8 foot wide and 10 foot wide based off of the 6'8" by 2'8" door, access door that was there. So from that, I was able to basically determine the height, proportions, roof pitches, all that, and go and use that as my base for the Burlingham cottage. And I just verified it by going to the 1920 photo, and I did the same exact thing. This photo is a little bit darker resolution, and it was a little bit easier to pick up some of these dimensions. So that's why I did that. Now, based on that, I gave you a list of now, off the 1890 Dory barn, the ridge height roughly is 25.4. Our proposed is 27. Plate height from the grade is 15. We're 16.6. Eave heights, 3 feet. I'm at 4'6", which is, as you know, the eave line for 4'6" to match up with a mutton. That's why that height was there. The dormer plate, there was no dormers on the Dory barn, but if you took it as a story and said someone took that Dory barn and renovated and made a dwelling, that's what they came up with. The sliding barn door, those are those dimensions. We kept a similar one. One is, they're both facing south. So that's why we brought that element back in. Entry door, of course, I have to have a 3 foot wide door to meet code. So the overall dimensions of the existing was 24 by 17.6, and I'm 19 foot by 21.6. So not far off, but what it does when you go back to that photo, here you can see the floor. So, back in the day, it was probably 6 to 8 inches of stone. The first floor framing was anywhere from 4 to 6 inches with 4x6s, at 2 feet on center. I'm not really sure what the second floor framing would be, but basically what that allows is I have to take some assumptions. But one of the other parts is because that floor is 1'6", a conventional frame first floor is now anywhere from 13 inches from the top of a foundation. I'm assuming that the first floor framing, looking at that, I would say that most conventional historic homes that I've been into, and I know you all have done the same, your first floor framing and the second floor framing are almost identical. It was a very simple keep it, let's match everything going up. So I can only assume that the second floor framing would be anywhere from 4 to 6 inches deep. But now I have today to meet code and live loads and energy, not energy, but weights, etc. I have to have a floor framing of 10 inches thick. A lot of the other things that just though because of those heights, that's where I went from the old historic Dory barn, being 25 feet 4 inches, and that's what brought me to 27 feet. That was, and the other part that my client really wanted to do, and I'm going to unshare this, was they wanted to keep with that utilitarian shed barn, Dory barn kind of look. They really thought that that was a great way to go, and that's why we've maintained a sliding door, as you can see. It is going to be functioning so that if there is a storm or something, that door will go in front of the Dory barn doors, if you will. We put on shutters that will all be operational. There will be just simply, 8 4 by 6 or 5 4 by 6 by 4, shutters. Everyone will be operational. We do have one little balcony off the back that would be facing the water. As you know, there's 8 or 9 maple trees within the lot line of 9 and 7. So it's not like we're going to get a lot of view, but that was something that they wanted to have, was some view of the water. Not that they'll get a lot, but that's a parapet wall, to kind of keep it very utilitarian. No balustrades, no nothing. Really take any formal element out of this structure, because I just don't think that really is what we need within Codfish Park. So that's where we came off of this. So if you look at it, the front main mass is very similar to the Dory barn from 1890. The back, I brought in the shed element, but it has this feeling of that it had been renovated. Like my family's home that's 120 years old. My mom and dad had 7 kids. They had to modify the little bungalow house and doing additions on it. So I do think that there is some historic element and character of this that's in keeping with Codfish Park. So thank you for your time. And I'll share all this.
Chair, this is Angus.
Okay,
Thank you, Joe. I'm a little bit uncomfortable with the amount of time that we spent on this application. It's not complete. I don't have a site plan to orient, what's where in relation to anything. I appreciate there being inspiration drawn from a previous structure in Codfish Park. But other than there being a gable and a rolling door, there isn't anything that reminds me of the two structures being similar. The other is a very simple gable with a shed, and this is quite elaborate. There's a lot of fenestration. There are multiple gables. There isn't just a clear open shed. There's a balcony. There's a lot going on here, and I know that we have 10 applications, and this is incomplete, and I'd like to hold it until it is complete.
Mr. Chair, and this is Mary, and I agree entirely with Angus.
yeah, thank you for those comments. I'm real nervous about pushing forward without everything in front of us. Although I love the old photographs, but I agree that some of the feel is kind of gone. Can we ask the applicant to come back with a complete application? I just feel really given everything, I just think we need to see the complete application. It would get off to the wrong start, potentially, without everything in front of us.
Correct. We need that for the commission, and it will be noted, you know, that we didn't have a full, complete application. And that historical data would be nice to have prior to. I get trying to get deadlines and all, but we did receive a lot of applications this past week. So,
So Joe, if you wouldn't mind coming back, that would really, that would be the best place to start, I think. Do my commissioners agree?
Yes.
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 but I do appreciate the inspiration. I will notate that, Joe.
Yeah, and I know, I apologize. We had an earlier application prepared. And so we just grabbed from the wrong file. So I apologize. I did find the one that we did submit to the HCC, but that was yeah, I have it all, but I will send it right now to Holly.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay, take care, everyone.
You too.
Bye.
All right, let's do this one. Next one.
See, that made sense to me, like when you were suffering, you guys have a lot of.
This is 0 New Street.
Haven't we already
Deborah-
considered this and approved it?
This is for a fence.
Yeah,
This is for a fence.
this is the fence that's between the house, the parking lot. Yeah, see, right there. I think we approved this months ago.
Maybe they're redoing it. I don't have any other information on it. They're not referencing. Of course, there's no date on there. Date 10/1 right here. So this is new.
Well, that's interesting, because I remember walking past it. Clement, was I with you? And we
It looks
walked
very familiar to me.
during the winter, and we talked about the fact that the reason they needed the fence was because the neighbor perhaps had been encroaching on their yard. I mean, I remember the discussion entirely. The fence seems perfectly reasonable to me. I have absolutely no problem with it.
The fence is actually lovely.
This is Rob speaking. I'm gonna have to recuse myself because I'm the caretaker there, but
Yep.
were I not, I would say it's fine.
Anybody have any objections? Can we?
Is this an as-built?
No, I don't think so.
It might be.
Oh, it says existing.
Yeah. So that's an as-built. If that's
No,
the
I
case.
think,
Caretaker.
yes, ma'am.
Is this existing, Rob?
I've been a bad caretaker. I haven't been there in a couple of months.
It's down.
But there was
You
a,
remember building a fence there?
and I didn't build it, so no. Oh, okay, that's on the,
Now, wait, this looks like a different fence.
Oh, it is. It's a
This
different,
looks like it's on New
Just the
Street.
type.
Yeah,
it's on New Street.
yeah, it's between their parking place and petite little cot or whatever, Daisy cot.
Daisy,
Cot.
Daisy cot.
oh, so it's right on the street.
So wait, it's running parallel with New Street and it's in the same line with the
With the,
face of the house?
What it looks like. So
It does
it's
look like this.
so it's gonna go right here in the photograph.
boy,
Is that what
Why?
it-
Why would they need that?
Area to put fence on north around hydrangea.
Do they think it'll keep the deer out?
Maybe.
Good luck with that.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
I don't see that I'm having a difficult time relating the plan on the left with the photograph on the right.
So I guess the photograph on the right, we did approve a while ago. They put the fence up.
In the back, yeah.
Oh, I see.
They're looking to have one on the north.
So
Similar.
that's the type of fence that they want to have right here.
Sure, fine, why not?
Okay.
Seems unnecessary, but it isn't a problem, and it's typical of the vernacular in the area.
I don't have a problem with the type of fence. It's kind of weird for it to be 4 feet from the house, but
I agree.
Well, it just takes the weight off of you because I was having to.
All right, so
You
next
know, they just text me
one,
off,
23.
Start screaming at me about shit, and then I'm all trying to do the keeping an eye on the YouTube chat, refreshing it,
23 New Street.
making sure I'm letting people in. I'm using
Yeah. For some reason, they labeled it New Lane, so this confused me when I was
Yeah.
putting stuff together.
Oh, yeah, New Lane's in town.
Right. So there it is.
Right, and this is the house we approved an addition in the back. I mean, a cottage in the back. So this is just off the cottage. It's the hardscaping for the cottage.
Well, but it's something to the front too, right?
Oh, yes, they're right. You're right.
Extend pergola.
And
And it is in the back of the property, I think.
Well, the
Well-
cottage is, but
Two things.
the other pergola is off the dining room
Oh, yeah.
of the main house.
That's how it's noticed, yeah.
How much is the pergola extension?
Yeah, I mean, let me double check.
Let's go to this plan. This one's bigger. Extend existing wood fence, extend pergola. 7 1/4 square, is that what it says? No, it was the size of the post. I don't know.
Is it okay?
Are they doubling it, it looks, kind of?
Looks to me like double.
It
Yeah, it
says
looks-
5'10" by 24'8".
That works in the ZBA, and so is my language.
But
okay?
is that replacing or is that,
They're
because there
saying
is a
extend.
pergola there.
Right. It looks like they're sort of making it a normal width pergola, whereas the
Well, that's
one
what
that
they-
they got's a little skimpy.
All right.
I don't know, that's not making this.
So, oh, I see. So this is on the east side of the house.
No.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Trying to go to the photograph to see.
I think the application is not for the pergola, but for the patio and the fence
So how do you-
extension.
Megan's making him go through.
Yeah, I don't understand why they're all 3 on the same app. Says patio and extend existing fence. So not even the pergola, but it's indicated as new, so I don't understand that. All right,
Because they're
so
changing the ground cover? Because they're exchanging, doesn't it look like that's why it's there? They're putting a new surface next to the house and next to the guest house, is my guess.
Ah,
That
Okay,
bottom
so-
photo, I think, clues us into what's going on there. They want to go all the way to the fence. The very last photo.
Ah,
Well, it's brick now.
But you see the dirt, like in the plan, the patio goes all the way to the fence.
mhm.
Right.
He may just want to be keeping track.
And it's a different surface, right? It was
Yeah.
a brick surrounding, it looked like cement,
Bluestone.
bluestone. I don't care what they do. Nobody can see anything.
no, I think it looks fine.
It's fine.
So no concerns?
No concerns.
no
Hard to-
concerns.
Hard to discern what was going on there. Okay. 9. So here we're going back to 9 Beach Street.
Yeah, this is Roberta Brown. She was going to get that house from, the Chip Webster designed house was gonna be dumped in her side yard, but now she's not doing that, and she's just extending onto her porch a kind of a mudroom entrance, an enclosed entrance.
All right,
See, there-
that's
Porch. So the proposed relocated beach cottage isn't happening,
right.
Okay.
but the porch is getting that entry that we see enclosed. Does that, so that changes her footprint? Is that zoning ish? Does that, I mean, is she
Uh,
allowed for ground cover?
Uh,
Is that closed
deck-
space?
decks don't matter.
But this isn't a deck. The deck didn't
Okay.
matter, but now she's enclosing it in its interior space. So is that
Mhm.
question?
Oh, yeah, that's part, yeah, they need to figure that out.
Chair, I think I see Chip online. Chip, do you have any comments?
This looks like, this is
It's
Joe's
This is
plan.
me.
Oh,
What's the matter?
Ah.
Go ahead. So this is just a simple little mudroom added on to the south side of an existing structure. And they have a shower in the back there currently, and they just want to reconfigure that.
Does the house, is there enough square footage?
Yes.
and
But I
this-
will remind you, yes.
So we're in the SA, we're in the old historic district, so ground cover is 50%.
Yep, you're right.
I don't
figured you'd
have
be
any
on
pro-
top of it.
This is Rob. It looks good to me.
That's fine.
yeah,
No concern.
No concern for me.
no.
Moving along,
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks, Joe.
Joe.
38 Cannonberry. Right? Yep.
Oh. 38 Canterbury.
So these photos I know were provided to give some context and here goes the site.
Wow. Okay, Fred.
This is it's Rob speaking. This is Canterbury where where the build out is happening.
Yep.
Okay.
Who is this? Is this the Asher's house?
Oof, I'm trying to find it on my other map.
This is a lot up here. Not
Yep.
all of them are being built out by Workshop APD, I think is who's doing a lot of them out there.
But this is Val Oliver, right?
Yes, yep. So we're going yeah, setback.
38 Canterbury. Okay.
Chair, this is Angus. On the west elevation, which I believe is the facade, I have a problem with the 2-story or story and a half projection towards the street, proud of the entry. It feels like any secondary mass should be behind the front door, not in front of it.
There, I'll zoom in, make it a little easier.
Yeah, it's hard to read this, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
is. Yeah. We'll go by elevation.
It's to the left of the west elevation, Angus. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That whole thing. But how far out does it project though? That's what I can't quite understand.
We would have to look from the north.
Yep.
I'm looking at the floor plan and I don't see dimensions really.
So the north elevation is the front of the house.
Oh,
West.
Huntington Home, isn't that interesting?
Did it say Huntington?
Yeah,
They know
If
better.
the porch is 8 feet deep, I would say that the projection is 16 feet.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Hmm.
Couldn't it slide back?
And window wells on the front of the house aren't that great either.
Mm-mm.
I'd prefer to see that whole mass pushed back behind the front door.
Yeah.
It's got a pretty suburban look to it.
It does, Mary. I don't know how to say that, but all of these look so suburban. They just don't look like Nantucket to me at all, but maybe that battle is lost.
They aren't Nantucket. Well, I mean, they're the new Nantucket.
Yeah. They're just big houses. You
Yeah.
know, I don't see references to.
They've got a design kind of like this out on Blackfish. There was a house kind of at the end of the circle that's like this. And I remember when we looked at that thinking, ugh, this is not going to be great. And, you know, it's now built and it's not great, but it's not quite as awful as I thought. But it's just suburban cul-de-sac.
Any other comments on it?
Mary,
Not,
the house that you see at Blackfish, does it have that forward?
Kinda, yeah. It's right on the turn. So as you're coming down Blackfish, it's just on the left-hand side, but you have to go around the circle to get to it. Yeah, I don't. But this is actually, the sighting of this makes it even more problematic, I think. Blackfish, it almost works, but. I agree with Angus's statement. I mean, that house that was just pictured on Cannonberry, the mass that's forward is main mass. It makes sense, but having the not main mass forward does not make sense.
this is Rob, and Mary, to your comment and Angus, is that's the west elevation
I believe so.
on the elevations?
Oh, wait, no, kind of been, I want to say north. Oh, wait, see that Cannonberry Lane one, the one on the left-hand side there? Yeah, that one. See that's a smaller mass forward
Mm-hmm.
and it's obvious.
And also the porch that receives you and brings you to the front
Yes.
door is the farthest projection. So it's
Exactly.
almost like the front door is approachable from the forwardmost mass. This is like a mass that would be on the side of a house or a back of a house where it's full story. And then there's that shed coming off the left side of it as well that's flush. And the dormers are, they're pretty close up. I don't know whether they're 1, 2, or 3 feet. I don't see dimensions, but it's it just that whole mass that projects. Also, it's on the approach to the house up the street. This is the first impression. That's the first thing you see. You have to drive past this to see the front door.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Okay, I see that now. Thank you.
All right, ready for 28 Main?
Yes, please. Fascinated by that.
Yes. All right, so
Is this Village of Rome?
Yes, it is.
Ah, break my heart. What are they gonna do?
Well, they haven't screwed it up too badly.
Okay.
new addition. On the back.
I just was a million shy.
I mean, it looks as if they've been respectful of the old house, aside from the fact that none of it exists on the inside anymore. They've gutted it.
Oh, no, did they really? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so charming.
that's been done.
Oh,
But the front looks really great, I think.
It does not change the front, and I think that the reason they had to gut it was basically to get the stairs in the right place
Yes.
and not raise the front roof. So that's, in and of itself, kudos to them. I mean, you miss the round wall on the inside, but that's, the outside doesn't change.
Well, we
So
hope
is
they
this-
save some of the fireplaces, but
Is this the Frederick Mitchell cottage?
it's Village of Rome was what was the name of the house.
Okay. Rosemary Barnes house.
Across the
No.
street.
That was
The
its
cor-
house.
Okay.
So looking from the front, which is the north,
Yes.
they're adding a bathroom to the left off the bedroom. I
Yep.
would guess. And
Well, no,
what
it looks like a door. They put a door in there. That makes sense.
Oh, a door?
That there always has been that addition out maybe it's a little bit broader, but yeah, there always was an addition on that side. That's where the master bedroom is.
Yeah,
And then the bathroom was on the way back of that master bedroom. See, there it is. You can see it in the lower right-hand picture.
no, that was the bedroom, Mary.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the bedroom. The bathroom could have gone off as I
The very-
designed it with the two beside the chimneys, two bathrooms.
Mm.
Why you'd want to share a bathroom is beyond me, but anyway.
It helps keep the relationship together.
I sort of feel the opposite, actually, Rob.
Okay,
Um,
it's Rob here. What just a quick
Yeah.
aside,
Yeah.
I can't tell who the drafts person is, but I'm really liking the red showing where the changes are on those little mini,
Yeah, that's good, isn't
that
it?
is nice.
really, really great. That's all.
Emeritus. Yeah, they've been doing that.
And so that's is the south elevation the rear of the house then?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay.
So that's to be demoed, and this is what they're adding.
Yep.
Actually, it looks pretty good.
Looks
Very
great.
nice.
Look at the heights. Very respectful.
Mhm.
You're right. You're right.
And all that fenestration is not visible, and it's on the south side, so they get the
Yeah.
Yep, passive
light,
solar.
and they've got that great view of their huge backyard. It all works together for me.
I know, but you know what I thought? I thought that the front porch should be replicated on the back. Wouldn't that have been grand?
Oh,
Got a portico. I mean, obviously we can see a pergola.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's just,
I like it. I think.
I do too.
I think we
Lovely.
have to see some changes to this house, and I think these are really respectful.
Yep, I do too.
so the chair would tell Holly that I think that we have no concerns and we're appreciative.
Yes.
This is Angus. I appreciate the sensitivity, especially to Main Street, but really with the massing and the fenestration for the rest of the structure, the inside was really quite funky and dysfunctional.
Wonderful.
I hate to see history removed, but there was some funk there that I don't think was very well thought out, and I like the end result.
Agreed.
All right,
Bravo.
good. I know Emeritus will appreciate that. I know Matt will.
yeah, I think they did a good job.
All right. Blackfish, I think this is Chip, right? what Chip's been waiting for. Okay. We've got
Is,
4
is,
applications. Open them
Good
all up.
morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
All
Hey,
right.
Chip,
Good morning. Hey, Angus, how's it going, man?
good to see you.
Good to see you, even if it's 2 inches by 3 inches on my monitor.
All right, main house.
So before we look at each individual application, I think it might be useful for me to give you an overview of our approach to the design. If you don't mind just holding on this locus, that's probably a good starting point. So as you can see, it's a skinny and deep lot. So logically, the buildings that we're proposing are oriented in a linear fashion from the front of the lot towards the rear. And on the overall site plan, we're proposing to site the garage to the front, which is the only way it would functionally work. The main house follows that. Yeah, here we go. Here's the site plan. So the garage we're proposing the garage to the front, main house behind that. There is a proposed pool and pool cabana behind that. And then the guest house is in the rear of the lot. So our approach here was to make all of the structures as low as possible, keep each of them as simple in their form, and let the sort of the space between them speak to the arrangement. All of this, the garage, the pool cabana and the guest house are all 1-story structures. None of them exceed 17 feet. They're around 16 or 17 feet in total height. And the main house, which is what we're looking at right now, is a 1.5-story house that is less than 27 feet tall. It's 26 and change. So a very simple main mass with a front porch extending across with an additional 1-story mass to the left. Pretty self-explanatory, I believe. So the south elevation is the front of the house, and that's what would face Blackfish. And again, as you could tell from the site plan, it's a setback some distance from Blackfish because of the garage in front of that. So with that, I'll turn it over to the group for thoughts and comments. And any questions?
Is the garage going to be blocking this portion of the house? Could you have them staggered?
That is correct. If you go back to the site plan, you'll see that the garage is in front of that 1-story mass so that you can cleanly see the main mass of the main house from the street.
Where is the garage design? I don't see it.
These are 4 separate applications. If you wanted to move forward to that, we could. There we go.
And where does it open? Where do the doors open?
The doors open to the side. So the south elevation, which has a short shadow element right there, is what faces the street. And the doors face to the side towards, to the east.
So you'll see this in front of that. Okay. That's different.
This is Mary. My only comment is that it doesn't really strike me as a 1.5-story house. I mean, it strikes me as a 2-story house with a 1-story wart. Other than that, I mean, I think it's fine. I think it's in keeping with the neighborhood.
Could I ask, do we typically put garages in front of buildings?
We have been, Caroline, that house on Sankaty Road, the new one in the Ruddick's old lot, or former Ruddick lot, is that way.
and also, it's Rob here, an awful lot of houses, some of the older houses, they had the garage right on the street in front of the house. I'm thinking of Baxter Road, if I didn't say that already.
But that was a bluff, Rob.
And Sankaty Road also. Sankaty has several. My brother's house would be an example.
Well, I think Blackfish has several too. This is Clement. Are the pool house and guest house included in this packet as well?
Yes,
All four buildings are included in the packet?
Yep.
yes.
Yes. So this is the proposed pool cabana, which is an open cabana, again, a simple one-story structure. I think it's 17 feet in proposed height.
Okay.
Simple. And then that's the garage, and then the guest house is the one you haven't seen yet.
And the guest house, again, one story mass, it's set to the rear of the lot. Two simple masses with a connecting link between them.
I want that house.
It's so funny. When I did this, I said to the client, I could live in this. This is all the house I need. It's got 2 bedrooms. It's got some living space and a couple of bathrooms. One of the bathrooms opens to the outside, so you can walk right into it from your outdoor shower.
That's cool.
It's all you need.
That's cool.
I'm packing my bags.
Any thoughts?
Well, I mean, that's four structures on that property. I mean, obviously that must be allowed.
Yep.
It's Blackfish. I mean, it's the same thing that they did on the corner of Clifton and Burnell. That's 4 structures.
Yep. It's a ground cover. I mean,
It's the new neighborhood.
Could I just make a comment? The lot is long and skinny, but rearranged, you could easily put the garage behind the house.
You'd have to drive back there though,
Yeah,
Caroline.
that's, well, a big problem, right?
Yeah,
Then you wouldn't be looking at cars.
no, but
Oh, right.
I just am so disappointed that we're doing that.
But you know, what? all of the houses on Blackfish, at least all of the ones I can think of right now, with maybe 2 exceptions, have the cars in front. The
Yeah,
driveway.
it's so
apron-
inelegant, it just changes a neighborhood, but that's fine. That's what's done.
Mary's right. Pretty much every house has its parking in front. Almost none of them have a garage in front. The closest they get is sort of parallel with the front of the houses. The lot that is actually, the address is Burnell, that is on the corner of Burnell and Blackfish, that's to adjacent to this to the right.
Right.
It's the garage right there, but technically the front is Burnell and the garage, would be behind it, but this is more beside it, that is right adjacent to it to the east. More than the garage for an issue for me, and I like the general volumes and the details of the garage. I think that's a fairly sensitive structure, but there are 2 things that I have a bit of an issue with, and that is the shed dormer that comes that faces the street on the front of the house, and also there's a strong symmetry with the house, and I like dramatic tension with the symmetry and asymmetry, but there's so much symmetry that it feels like the front door is off. There are the 3 dormers. Holly, can you go back to the main house, please?
Yep.
There's the 3 dormers and the line of columns, but the line of columns sets up a different dynamic where the door is either going to be behind a post if it's going to stick with the symmetry.
Yeah.
I would rather see fewer columns and set it up with the dormers, but there's such a strong pull in both directions that I feel like the door feels out of place, like the lower floor and the upper floor are not relating to each other.
Good point.
should I comment to that or?
Please.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's interesting because that was actually very intentional to, each of those elements is balanced and symmetrical on its own. And I actually really like the way that there was this interplay between the symmetry of those two levels. So if you look at the first floor porch, you'll see that all the posts are equally spaced. The door is centered between posts, and each of the other windows are also centered between the adjoining posts. And with the one-story element to the left, I felt that having the door in that second bay on the front sort of was a nod to this, the fact that there's this one-story mass on the side. So that was actually pretty, it was intentional to sort of have that balance of the two different symmetries for what it's worth. That was.
Thank you, Chip. It just feels that they're such strong elements. I feel like there's a tension there that feels awkward to me of the upper and lower part wanting to relate to each other. And I hear that about moving the door towards that shed dormer, on the lower. I just think a shed dormer on the face of the house like that, it really looks like something that would be on the side or the back, just for extra light.
Was Chip, I had a question. Was there a thought of maybe losing the center column and losing that second window and making the front door more symmetrical underneath that central dormer?
Well, part of it, of course, is balancing the interior of the house with the exterior and the floor plan and so forth. So if we wanted to look at the first floor plan, you can see part of the reason for that organization.
Gotcha.
So as you come into the interior, there's a sitting room immediately to the right. The left side is the powder room and mud room. And then this arrangement aligns the access with the front door into the living space towards the rear of the house. So you can see here, if we move the door to the middle, it would basically require a complete redesign of that. And I think that, again, I think that the interior floor plan and the exterior need to relate to each other and support each other. And there are reasons why some of the exterior elements are arranged as they are. So looking at this first floor plan might give some clarity to that.
Thank you.
I think if you look at the perspective, that's when you get a real view of what's going on with the front, with
I like the perspective. Yeah.
I think that, yeah. Yeah, it just feels like the two aren't relating to each other. They're all strong elements. The top is really strong and solid, and the same with the bottom, but the top and the bottom, I don't feel like are relating to each other. I don't
Any other
need to
comments?
make extra work for the floor plan. Sorry.
Any other comments?
Any other comments on the other structures?
Nope. No, I have no comments and I'm afraid I have to leave the meeting, but thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Hi.
Thanks, Senate. As far as the other structures, I don't really have issues. I mean, there are details of like formality with the columns and stuff, but I don't think any of it's visible. And, it's fun and, why not?
Yep.
Yeah, let's have some fun up in Blackfish, for goodness sake. Okay. And do we want to go through the items in section 4? Other business, I don't think we have anything new on 19 Broadway, do we?
Before we're finished with Chip, Chip, is there any reason that that mast that comes off on the west side of the house wouldn't be coming off the back, as Carolyn suggested, to be able to get the driveway back some? Or, I mean, was there?
Well, if we go to the site plan, as I mentioned, it's a skinny lot.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I actually thought that having the garage in the front was very much a Sconset idea. You know, I was excited about that, and also that we didn't have the garage doors facing directly to the street. Again, that's why I put that sort of low one-story shed element, a nod to the lower, sheds that are throughout, elements throughout Sconset. So that element on the garage that faces the street has like a 6-foot plate height, with the idea that it's low sloping roof to sort of just really taper to the street. So that was, believe it or not, very much intentional to fit into the Sconset vernacular, which I think happens throughout Sconset, not only on historic structures, but many of the newer structures. Back to your specific question, could we somehow get that behind the house? If we put the driveway in the setback, and eked by maybe, but even if we do that, I think that the comment I heard was maybe a concern about parking in the front. I think the primary parking would still probably be in the front. I can't see a way of getting the garage and the parking and the driveway, everything around to the back. I mean, you could just see, we could kind of reverse those structures. But again, I thought that was a great way of fitting into the Sconset vernacular, and also gave the opportunity to slide the main house further back from the street. So that was the design logic, I guess.
It's a really nice garage. And I appreciate having the door adjacent. Whenever you approach the house, though, you're going to be facing the garage door just because of the siding and where the approach is. So it's only when you get up to the drive and then turn in, then you end up going in that way. It seems like you might have more yard and privacy in the back if the house scooted forward and that addition went to the north side, and the garage wouldn't need to go behind the house, but maybe in line with it or a little bit back. Yeah, I don't know if there's a way to arrange that. It is unusual on the street. The parking and the driveway that's all consistent with everything that's on Blackfish. And you're right, the garage in Sconset does happen, up front. And it's great when it's a simple, low, modest structure like this too. There's been a push lately for garages, being like guest houses and being right in front. And so I appreciate, the modesty of that building. But it might be worth trying to see if things could move around. You might actually end up with a better vista in the back house to pool house or guest house. Thanks, Chip.
Yep. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Chip.
Okay, thank you, and have a
Thank you.
beautiful remainder of the day. And I hear Wednesday's supposed to get up to 70.
Wow.
Indian
Get your
summer.
bikes out. All right, thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks.
Mr. Chair, I wanted to let you all know that there's one other application that missed getting on your agenda, and it's for 22 King Street. It's a shed. So I will email that to you all. If you have any concerns, let me know. If not, I apologize. It was not on the agenda, but Again, they received a lot of applications last week.
Okay.
So does that mean we can't look at it? We
It's
do it
not on the
independently?
agenda, so I can't, I probably shouldn't be, I'll email it if you wouldn't mind.
Okay.
Sorry. I just want to hinder open meeting law,
So that
but it's on the
means,
posted HDC agenda.
but if it's on the posted HDC agenda, why couldn't we see it?
Because it's not on your posted agenda.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, just look at it on the HDC agenda.
Your
then.
agenda had to be posted before theirs. It's all.
View pack, that's fine. We can look at their view pack.
Yes. But if you have any comments, just let me know. I will be reviewing it as well. Bless you.
Bless you.
You got some bless yous from Sconset
That
Advisory.
for all of us?
Also, it's Rob here. I notice on tonight's agenda is tomorrow night's agenda for the
Yes.
HDC is 100 Low Beach Road, which we didn't get to see.
Oh,
And also,
Yes.
What's that? Oh, right.
it's the Roshan old house. It's probably about that pool that's,
yes.
Yeah.
And also, the Codfish Park house across the street from everything else we were talking about today. That's on tonight's agenda as well.
the Wilner
Yes.
house. The house
Yes,
that we considered 57 times.
yes.
Yes.
Sorry, that's tomorrow night.
They had a lot carried over from last week. So that's kind of how, or the week before, sorry. So it's been 2 weeks.
Okay.
But that's what's been happening is there's been so many new applications come in that there's always a continuation from the previous meeting.
Yeah.
So,
Holly, did we review something at 100 Low Beach? It seemed like we looked at a garage or something.
you looked at something on Low Beach, but it was up like in the 20s or 30s of Low Beach. Your jurisdiction doesn't go down that far, Low Beach Road. So
Okay.
Holly?
if at all, if there's anything that, you want to provide comments, that's fine. It's not under the advisory board's
Holly,
area, I guess.
this is Caroline. We had discussed changing our jurisdiction. Where did that go?
That would be something that you'd have to actually get to the HDC themselves. So I thought you guys were gonna provide a formal request to the HDC.
Yes, hi, it's Rob. Yes, we did touch on that last time and our board needs to get together. Remember, we talked briefly about combining it with zoning and
Right.
maybe the jurisdiction of the Sconset Trust just to get a little unified. And we'll have to figure out a way to word that and
Can we
Yes.
meet? Or no? To discuss
don't-
that.
right.
How do you do it?
Well, it goes on the agenda for us to talk about it, but to work it out with the HDC afterwards or the powers that be, we need to, bring that to whatever meeting.
So Holly, could we put that under new business or
Absolutely.
wherever it goes on that
Yep.
other sheet?
Yep.
And we could keep discussing it, right?
Yes, as long as
Yeah.
it's on the posted agenda, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that okay, Rob?
Hi, it's Rob. Thank you, Carolyn. I think that's a terrific idea.
You really
'Cause we're
mean
not-
that?
Because, yes, no, I do. I do because we aren't allowed to talk about it on the street.
Correct.
Okay,
That's perfect.
thank you, Holly. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Carolyn. Okay, so I think we're good. Is it appropriate for me to ask for a motion to approve the previous comments we've made?
I'll make that motion.
All right,
Let us
thank you.
approve the previous comments that we've made.
All right, all right, I'll do the roll call. All in favor, Caroline Ellis,
Aye.
Mary Lathrop Will,
Aye.
Angus McLeod,
Aye.
and Rob Benchley, aye. The chair notes again the early departure of Clement Durkees, which we knew beforehand. That's unanimous to adopt our comments, and all those in favor, well, let's see, I make a motion to adjourn then.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, I'll call your names. Caroline Ellis.
Yes, yep, thank
Okay.
you.
Mary Lathrop Will,
Yes, please.
Angus McLeod.
Yes.
Rob Benchley says yes, it's unanimous. And thank you all very much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Holly.
Thank you. Thanks, Holly.
Bye, y'all.